It is time for me to bring on and introduce you all to the man, the myth, the legend, the Sultan of Jazz, the Sultan of Soul. Everybody give a big ayo to Chris Toner.
Good afternoon, man. Good afternoon.
What's up? I don't even have to ask you how your day is.
Oh, incredible day.
Because
Incredible
you basically made an entire month's salary in one day.
It was a big move, man. Mobileye,
Unreal. Walk me, listen, and for those that don't know, this was a swing trade that Chris entered a few days ago. So, Chris, why don't you walk me through, when did you enter the trade? What option did you buy? And why? I think what's really important here is for people to understand your analysis behind why you bought put options on this. And I want everyone that's not a member, if you're not a member, I want you to listen to what this man is about to tell you, because he's going to show you and break down for you the exact trade that he went through. But listen to the analysis, because this is the thought process. This is the analysis that you guys get on a daily basis inside True Trading Group from professional traders. The analysis you're going to get here is not, oh, there's a bajillion shares that are short, that are phantom, that are fake, that are ghost shares. They're in some Panama account and this and this and that, and their stock's going to have to moon. That's not the analysis that you get from actual professionals. So, Chris, break this down. Show us this trade. Run us through it. Go for it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of this trade was based more upon market fundamentals versus the actual company itself, although that did play into it. So Mobileye IPO'd back last October, I believe it was, came onto the market mid-20s. The stock, when it first came to market, Mobileye came on, I believe the free float was somewhere around 40 million shares, the shares that are able to be traded. But the outstanding share count was up around 700 million shares. There was a lot of shares that were locked up. Insiders, employees, early investors, they're not able to sell right away. They have a mandatory 180-day wait period from that IPO before they can sell any of the shares that they had bought. So that's really the basis of what this trade was. We had the share unlock earlier this week. That share unlock more than almost quintupled the float. The float added 200 million shares to what was just 40. With that happening, and then today, earnings following up right behind it. Doing some research on this company, Mobileye, even with the massive drop today, is still valued somewhere around $30 billion. They're producing 14 cents a share. It's a very rich valuation for the company. Their main product is the self-driving equipment that's needed for Ford's vehicles. Ford is not using them currently, so they're not even really selling any product. So the expectations for the earnings miss was there. We got the massive earnings miss, forward guidance lower. That was the gap down today. Even today after hours, Intel, Mobileye was actually spun out of Intel. Intel still owns 30% of Mobileye. We are seeing the stock moving back lower after hours with Intel missing earnings as well. But that was really the basis of it. We entered this trade 2 weeks ago on Thursday the 13th. I had paid $250 and $255 for the 40 put options at that time. Last week, we traded up into the mid 40s. We held through, took a little bit of heat on those contracts. Yesterday, at the high of the day, those options were down to $1.35. That was the lowest point. And then this morning at the open, they reached as high as $10.35 the very next morning. So I was able to make the exit at $9.50, come up just under 280% gain. That was the basis. Still looking for a continued follow through to the downside. The stock did get a bit of a bounce from the gap down this morning. We're still under the hourly trade line. I think we still have some sell pressure to come in. Most of those original investors are in the stock. The last private placement was under $18. So they're still at 100% gain, even at 36. So there's still some selling to come.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm with you on still expecting more selling to come on this name. And I was, and full disclosure, guys, I was not in this swing trade with Chris Toner, but I'm looking at this now to enter possibly for a day trade, or maybe even entering, a swing trade with a little bit of a different analysis now that we've broken beneath this resistance level or prior support level at 37. And I want to make sure you guys all see this. So you see this previous support level there at 37. Prior to that, that was resistance. Those are your prior highs. So now I'm expecting this level to become resistance now. You have the 100-day moving average here. The 50-day is going to start to curl down. So if I start to see maybe something like this on Mobileye, if I see something like this and the stock starts to push back up into that zone, I will look to engage the short right up here in these high 30s and then look for like Toner said, that share unlock, look for people to say, you know what, I'm going to take some more profits off on this and look for this to move itself back into the low 30s. The way that you have to think about the psychology of the early investors, if they're in this thing last round at 18, and you know you're going to have people that's the last round. There's been previous rounds of fundraising before that where they're going to probably they're in at even lower prices. I don't know what the exact prices are, but if the last
Single
round,
digits.
single digits, okay?
Yeah, early guys are single digits, yeah.
Yeah, early guys are single digits. They probably did another one somewhere over 10. The last one was 18. If you're sitting there and you're saying, okay, yesterday this stock was at $45. Today it's at 35. You just have the ability to sell your shares just yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm sorry, Chris, when was the unlock?
It was the 24th, 3 days ago, yeah.
So 3 days ago. So as of 3 days ago, you just got the ability to sell your shares and you didn't. Because you're like, oh man, the stock's on fire. It's going to go to 55. And all of a sudden you wake up today and the stock's at 35. That starts, I think, to get people a little angsty, a little anxious. They start to probably sell that position before it goes to 25. And that's the psychology and that's the mindset that you might have from those early investors. And with that share unlock of an additional 200 million shares, stock traded 21.5 million shares today. It is by far the heaviest volume day since their IPO day. I mean, no other one of the days, no other one of the trading days even comes close. Your average trading volume per day on this is around 3 million shares. It traded 21.5 million, but adding again 200 plus million shares to that tradable flow. And if that stock starts to come out of the market, that could pressure this thing back down to the low 30s. So I am looking for resistance up there around 37. Once we get up into that zone, that's going to be something that we're going to look for a possible short inside of True Trading Group.